once the defense moves onto the field. I actually think it'll be good to go. Then we are ready for some Saturday doubleheader action at the University of Tampa. The Spartans and Eagles face off 2 times today to continue their weekend series. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thank you for joining us on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. The Eagles suffered a 9-1 defeat last night, and they'll be hoping that they can turn things around today. Here's their starting lineup. Leading off, shortstop Matthew Coker. Batting in second is the center right fielder, A.J. Marinello. Batting in third is first baseman Max Copps. Batting in fourth is the number 0, Timo Aracena. Batting in fifth is center fielder Noah Clymer, and it's Drew Clymer batting in sixth. The catcher today is Robert Post getting the start. He's batting in seventh, with Iken Santana batting in eighth. Rounding out the order is the left fielder of Elias Campbell. They'll be bringing on their ace, Tristan Hartley, when we roll to the bottom of the first. But it's Tampa's invincible ace, Skylar Gonzalez, getting the start today. Gonzalez continues his undefeated tenure at UTampa. His record a little less strong this year in the win column. He's only 3-0 in 37 innings and 7 starts, but boasts a rotation best .263 ERA. He has struck out 34 batters in 37 innings, and he's looking to make it 2 wins in a row for the Spartans after Tampa took Game 1 of the series last night. Tampa ended a lengthy road trip with a defeat against Albany State, but Skylar Gonzalez did not suffer defeat in his most recent matchup. He featured against Palm Beach Atlantic in a pretty crazy scoring matchup. A 15-13 Spartans win where Tampa scored with 2 runs in the top of the 12th to secure the win. Gonzalez had 3 innings, but a couple of difficulties, giving up 4 runs. Afterwards, Robert Satin had a stellar bullpen appearance until the defense didn't give him any help in the 8th inning. He had 7 runs surrendered, all of them unearned. Ryan Stefuk shut the door over 3 2/3 innings of one-hit baseball to secure the Spartan win in the last Gonzalez appearance. Skylar hoping for similar success today that C.J. Williams had last night. Williams went 8 innings, giving up 1 run and striking out 7. Almost went the distance, but was pulled for the 9th inning with a comfortable Tampa lead. Coker was held quiet yesterday, and it looks like his first at-bat isn't going to be anything special. That is caught in the outfield by Woodburn. Ashby closing in. They avoid contact, 1 away. That'll bring Marinello to the plate for Embry Riddle. Marinello batting .323, .464, .583 this season. The Eagles, as a batting unit, have a .507 slugging percentage in 2025. That's better than Tampa's .460 rate as a team. And that's strike one from Skylar Gonzalez finding the zone. Tampa's pitching staff has increased to a 3.53 ERA for the season. Pretty strong numbers across the board. We also saw Logan Wash get his ERA back to a 5.4 rating with his 5th inning of the season thrown yesterday. Big whiff there by Marinello. 2 strikes in the count. 1 ball for the 17. And now here comes Skylar Gonzalez with a 1-2. Fouled backward. That lands off the Embry Riddle dugout and out of play. But let's see what the graduate student can do here. Still trailing 1-2. Did he go? No, he did not. Quick check to first base confirms that he didn't swing. It's Samuel Birch and Kevin Flay as the umpires today. They were here yesterday and are back for the 2 games today. Hit sharply to Woodburn. 2 outs in the inning. An easy pickup for the second baseman. And that's going to bring up Max Copps. The numbers 4, 5, and 6 for the Embry Riddle team, Max McCluskey, Max Copps, and Max Meyer, all share the same first name of Max. That's ball 1 missing inside. Gonzalez taking on the left-handed batter. Aracena, the switch hitters on deck. So it would be 2 opposite hand opponents for Gonzalez on up next. Swing and a miss, 1-1. You might tell that there is no current shortstop right by the second base position. That's because Tampa's infield with a pretty noticeable shift to the right side of the infield, as they expect Copps to pull the ball. And with 2 strikes, they're moving Karstetter, the third baseman, to that shortstop position. And moving Saladino back to the right and pretty deep into the outfield. And that's going to be pulled right to the second baseman. Woodburn in the right spot for that grounder. And the side is retired. 3 quick outs from Skylar Gonzalez. He gets out of the first inning quickly to bring up the Tampa offense. And we are just about ready to go in the bottom of the first, back at the Tampa baseball field. Here is your Spartans starting lineup. Spoiler alert, no changes from yesterday. Jordan Williams leading off with Nico Saladino right behind. J.D. Urso, the designated hitter, batting in third, with Lenny Ashby batting in fourth. Braden Woodburn bats in fifth, with Joander Irigoyen batting in sixth. Cole Russo bats in seventh, with Kevin Carstetter batting in 8th, and Maddox King rounding out the lineup. On the mound today for Embry Riddle is Tristan Harley. In 7 starts, Harley's 3-1. He struck out 25 over 30 innings, boasts a rotation best 2.67 ERA, if you don't count opener Nick Rich as part of the starting unit. Rich has a 2.53 ERA in 2 starts and 6 appearances, but he's only thrown 10 innings, which suggests that he's not a true starter per se, but rather an opener for bullpen days. Williams with a bunt to start things off. Harley not in time. A bunt single to start the game for Williams. And Williams is known for his electric speed, 40 stolen bases in 25 games. He is on pace to shatter Spartan stolen base records, and I would not be surprised if he is active right here. He'll be putting the arm of Post to the test. For the season, Tampa has been extremely aggressive on the base path. They have tried 98 stolen base attempts this year. They are successful 80% of the time, with 79 steals. I would not be surprised if that number ultimately becomes a Spartan best stolen base season in history. Strike one to Nico Saladino. Safe. Close on the pickoff throw. Cops dropped the ball. Tampa's most stolen base attempts came back in 1998, where they had 251 stealing attempts. Conversely, in 2025, Tampa only tried 32 steals. Or actually, no. I was thinking 2024. There's out number 1. Is way into foul territory. Aracena comes up with it. That foul ball looked like it was going to go out of play, and while it was off the field of play, didn't escape foul territory. Unlucky for Saladino, that was a hit and run as Williams was going. Here comes J.D. Urso. I don't know if Tampa will be able to surpass their stolen base record from 1998, but I think they'll hit the triple digits this season for attempts. First pitch, there goes Williams. Throw from Post, not in time as it gets to the outfield. And a very mild collision between Williams and Santana at second as the ball bounced away. That's 41 steals for Jordan Williams, 11 away from the Spartan record. Williams also tied the all-time single-game stolen base Spartan record with 4 earlier this season. He is prolific on the base path. I wonder if he'll go for third. Takes a little jump. He's clearly playing mind games with Harley. And he almost hits Urso. I really like that exchange. For about 5 seconds, they stared at each other. Williams dancing a little bit before Harley turned and fired. Wonder if he'll look back at Williams again. Doesn't this time. The count goes 3-0 now. Missed the zone for a strike on the stolen base attempt. And then followed it up with 2 misses here. Could put J.D. Urso on with 1 away for Lenny Ashby. And that's also where Tampa could try a double steal. Urso also very active on the base path this year. 10 for 13. Hit sharply to third. And Urso doesn't beat the throw. No, he does. It is dropped by Cops. The throw from Aracena was in time, but he couldn't come up with it off the hop. So 2 on, 1 away. That would have been a very useful second out for Harley. Instead, I believe that'll be a single for Urso. Not sure if Tampa will count it as an error. Well, actually, they do count it as an error. Unlucky for the Eagles. Ashby now a chance to convert. The left-hander batting .305 this season. .424 and .440 for his slash line. .440 on base, .424 slugging. Ball 1, missing down low. Tampa boasts a very experienced lineup. 8 upperclassmen, and Maddox King, the sophomore, rounding it out. Throw back to Williams. He's safe. Not a surprise to see a pickoff attempt there from Harley. I think that's something that Coach Thurnow wanted to keep an eye on throughout the weekend. Now you see Williams with a slightly smaller lead against Harley. You also have Coker playing pretty close to the bag, ready for any other pickoff throws. Ashby takes, it's 3-0, could load the bases with Braden Woodburn on deck. Woodburn and Irigoyen do up. Irigoyen has been getting hot as of late. Yesterday, put up 5 RBIs in the Spartans win, going 4 for 5 at the plate. Strike one. Harley finds the zone. An important strike for Harley. You don't want to give Ashby the free pass. And you don't want to let Tampa load the bases without needing to swing the bat. Up the middle. This could be 2 as it's picked up on a hop. Coker's throws in time, and they get the double play. 6-3. Great play from Coker. Fires the throw to Cops in time, and Tampa is retired. 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on. We're headed to the top of the second. And we're ready to resume. The top of the second, Aracena leads off for the Eagles. He'll be followed by the Clymer brothers. Aracena is hitting .316 this year. As a team, Embry Riddle's hitting .311 for their batting average. Ball 1 missing away. Apart from some of the chaos last weekend, Tampa's defense has had a very strong start to the season as the count goes 2-0. Yesterday, they shut Embry Riddle down, where Embry Riddle only found a run in the 8th inning. The Eagles would love to get going on offense here. They held the Spartans quiet in the bottom of the first. And that will be caught on a diving play by Woodburn. One away. A nice sliding grab, ranging outwards. Not an easy stop. Here comes Clymer to the plate for Embry Riddle. Embry Riddle wearing blue uniforms today. They've got a dark blue number alongside a white outline. I'm happy that it's baseball that they're using these uniforms for. As a broadcaster, it's always tricky when those type of same color number, same color jersey uniforms are used. Karstetter bobbled the ball a few times. That allows Clymer to reach base safely. An error on Karstetter, unlucky for Tampa. They call it the hot corner because the baseball sometimes can be a little too hot to handle, and that was the exact case for the Spartans' third baseman that time around. Even an Anthony Nunez 95-mile-an-hour throw would not have gotten the runner out on that play after the couple of bounces. Gonzalez coaxes a pop-up that's very high and not deep at all. Caught by Karstetter. 2 away. I think he's had 2 outs on just 4 pitches so far. Very efficient start for Gonzalez, which even included the base runner getting aboard via error. Like C.J. Williams, who was cruising through the start of the game, Gonzalez wasting no time. Ball 1 missing outside. Gonzalez has always been a little more pitch-to-contact focused. Not the most strikeout-oriented arm out there. He does average, I'd say, about a 7 K through 9 throughout his Spartans tenure, but has trusted the defense, and it's paid dividends as the count goes 1-1. Tampa's defense has been pretty reliable. This unit of Karstetter, Saladino, Urso, and Russo in the infield's been great. In the outfield, you've got Williams, King, and Ashby, all of whom possess pretty good range. Williams, of course, his speed makes him very useful out in left field. King as well, very good at tracking things down in center field. 1-2 now. One more strike, and Gonzalez gets out of the inning. Post, the catcher, trying to stay alive. For the season, Post has had a .310 average, .436 on base, and .500 slugging percentage. Gets the start over Mastromaro today. The two have been working as a platoon for most of the season. Runner goes as that's chopped into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Runner headed to third. Williams throw on time. No tag in time. It is not. Great play by Williams to get the ball to Karstetter. But Clymer slides in safely, narrowly avoiding the tag. Runners at the corners with 2 away. Santana a chance to give Embry Riddle the lead. Not the hardest of hits, but it did find no man's land, falling just in front of Williams. With the runner going, it allowed Embry Riddle to send him to third. Good throw, though, by Williams. Notably, he's had a very nice arm out in left field. It's made it hard for would-be run scorers to make it home or advance the extra base. Russo will get him out of the jam, though. And Gonzalez, despite giving up a hit and another base runner via error, strands both to keep the game tied. Up next for Tampa is 5, 6, and 7 when we return on the Sunshine State.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been 350 million.
Bottom of the second, ready to begin. Harley resumes on the mound. It'll be Woodburn, Irigoyen, and Russo due up. It's an active weekend for Spartan athletics. Tampa with a softball doubleheader on the road against Embry Riddle. They're currently winning 7-1. The Spartans continued to live up to the reputation of comeback queens last night after they had a 4-run top of the 7th inning to turn a 3-1 scoreline into a 5-3 Spartans win. Tampa now has 23 wins in a row, and they might make it 24. That game is also live on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. You can watch that out on the Embry Riddle TV. I don't know what their channel is called. I know our channel is Tampa Spartans TV. It's where you're watching right now. 2-1. Woodburn gets ahead in the count, that one missing outside. Later today, we've got men's lacrosse at 7:30 p.m. I don't know if the Bruce will be loose, if Bruce Wozniak is going to be on the call or not. This is going to be a close play at first. Woodburn beats the throw by half a step. Good hustle by Santana, but didn't have time to get the throw across the diamond. 1 on to start the inning. This is also a doubleheader for you Tampa baseball today. It'll be about 30 minutes after the first game concludes for the second game to begin. I imagine it'll be Jake Stipp on the mound for the Spartans for that game. He has been the Game 3 starter all year long. Also with the game on Tuesday, Tampa will probably go back to Fletcher or Satin for the game later this upcoming week against St. Leo. The fun Tampa derby, if you could call it, between the two Tampa sides. St. Leo's baseball program always very strong in the conference, too. Should be an exciting matchup. The prelude to the 3-game series our teams will have later this season. 1-0 now on the way from Harley. In the dirt, 2-0. Harley's been working around the Spartan lineup, and it makes sense. This Tampa team knows how to get base hits and knows how to set the table. You don't want to give anything too easy for the Spartans to get their bat on, especially a player like Irigoyen, who's heating up with that 4-for-5, 5 RBI day yesterday. Will he cool down here? Well, he's going to advance the runner. 1 away. Wasn't enough time for Coker to turn 2. Very disciplined play by Coker to not try to force the double play. Woodburn in scoring position for Cole Russo. It seems whenever Russo has a chance like this, he's able to convert a very clutch batter for the Spartans this season. Russo has a chance to bring Woodburn home. Karstetter on deck as well. 2 strong players for UTamp at the 7 and 8 spots of the lineup. And that's going to miss for ball 1. A tough thing for a lot of our opponents is that Tampa's lineup is 9 players deep. You really don't have any easy outs when you're facing the Spartans. Russo gets ahead 2-0. Harley missing down low and inside. Harley would love to coax a grounder to keep Woodburn from reaching third. Russo would like to get a little bit of air on it. Outfield not playing super deep, but there is enough room for him to get a line drive into no man's land. Well, instead, send it up the middle to potentially give Tampa the lead. Woodburn slips on the base path, but the center fielder was not in a hurry to bring it home, so despite slipping on the turf, Woodburn scores on an RBI single. Tampa takes a 1-0 lead. Interesting play there as rounding third. I don't know what happened. He just misstepped and fell over, but Clymer kept it slow. He didn't want a bad throw that would allow Russo to reach second. He lets the first run of the ball game come home as UTampa leads with Karstetter at the plate. Breaking ball can't paint the inside corner. 1-0 to Karstetter. Runner on first for the Spartans, their third hit of the game, bringing home their first run of the game. Chopped foul, 1-1. Harley has a double play opportunity here. The Eagles defense turned it earlier. We also saw Embry Riddle coax a double play yesterday against the Spartans. Tampa's done a good job of avoiding too many double plays, though. Only 7 now for 2025. Swing and a miss. Big whiff on the slider. Carstetter was thinking fastball. He's now behind 1-2. First time Harley's had a 2-strike count like this in a few batters. A chance for him to notch his first strikeout of the game. Popped up. Carstetter stays alive as Copps tracks, and that one goes over the net and caught by a fan. Behind the Embry Riddle dugout, there's a small seating section that visiting fans usually like to fill in sometimes. Most of the seating is here behind home plate, though. And we've got a ton of Tampa fans and also some traveling Embry Riddle fans as well. Obviously, easy to make the trip from Daytona State to Tampa. Maybe take a stop to the Buc-ee's in Daytona along the way for the couple-hour drive from one coast of Florida to the other. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled. And will that escape the fence? No. That stays in the park and rolls around the bullpen. 2 strikes still to Carstetter. Carstetter found success last year at Arizona State. Batting .308 so far in 2025. That is foul. Actually, the umpire did not call the play dead. They say it's fair. Both runners will advance to second and third. So there was a ground ball that deflected away from Copps. It looked like it was going to be foul, but Samuel Birch said, no, that's a fair ball, and not a huge surprise to see Dave Thurnell out of the dugout to talk things over. Thurnell recently got the bump to head coach for Embry Riddle. He's been with the Eagles for 10 seasons, though, as part of the coaching staff. And I think he's trying to get a little confirmation about the previous play. I believe he's satisfied with the explanation from the umpire, but even if he's not, there's nothing he can do about it, unfortunately. 2 on, 1 away for the Spartans, and Maddox King with 2 in scoring position. I think that'll certainly get graded as an error. Or actually, no, it is going to be counted as a hit. I'm not 100% sure. Grounded foul for strike 1. So 3 hits still for the Spartans. The scoreboard out in center field getting corrected as we catch up with the live stats as well. You can always check out the live stats of the game on statsbroadcast.com for Tampa events. 0-1 now for Maddox King. 1-1 now. The infield's playing somewhat far back. Russo's not the fastest base runner, but Tampa could get cheeky and try a squeeze bunt here. I don't think they will, but the infield's playing at a depth where that might just work. King gets under this one. That's going to go deep center field. Clymer should stay on top of it. 2 away. 2-0 Spartans as the throw gets away from the third baseman, but behind the third baseman is Harley to pick it up. Russo makes it home on the sac fly. And a runner 90 feet away now for Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams started the game with a bunt and picked up stolen base number 41 for 2025. Williams batting over 400 this season. Very dominant at the plate. The Florida State transfer is going to go for it again. Will the run score? No, Williams is out by half a step. Embry Riddle escaped the jam. If there was 1 away, Carstetter would have made it home as an RBI, but Williams couldn't beat the throw, although I do like the aggressive bunting from the Spartans. 2-0 Tampa off the sac fly. They score 2 runs in the bottom of the second to take us to the top of the third. Campbell leads off for Embry Riddle as we begin the top of the third. Gonzalez has not wasted any time on the mound. Even getting into trouble in the previous inning with runners at the corners did not slow him down. 21 pitches through his first 8 opponents, averaging 3 pitches per batter. And actually a little bit less, as that's fouled away for strike 1. Top of the order will be due up next. Coker and Marinello will follow. It's also an upperclassman-dominated lineup for Embry Riddle. The Clymer brothers and Santana are all sophomores. Everyone else is a senior. And it's the senior Campbell getting on board with a leadoff single. King's there in center field to make sure there's no chance for 2. Second hit of the day for Embry Riddle. Here comes Coker to the plate. Coker popped up last time. He'd rather something that's on the ground, but also not to one of the Spartan infielders. Double play opportunity here for you, Tampa. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So Skylar Gonzalez getting set. Inside 1-1. 16-0. That was the last season record for Skylar Gonzalez. Not only an unbeaten season, but a massive 16-win campaign. As that's going to get into left field. Williams bobbles it. Runner goes to third. Throw not in time. Saladino picks it off to make sure runners can't get to second and third. The Coker single brings Campbell into scoring position, and it's Skylar Gonzalez in a little bit of trouble. Gonzalez began his college career at West Virginia, then played a season at Polk State College before making the move to D2. Ball 1 missing down low. He actually was part of a combined no-hitter back in 2020 with West Virginia. Through an inning against Kent State, en route to a combined no-hitter. 2-0 now as that misses down low. Marinello doing well at the plate so far. The graduate from Cape Coral fouls that one back. 2-1. Two-one from Gonzalez. Good frame attempt, but can't steal a strike. 3-1. There is a free base for the Spartans, but I don't know if they want to load it against Max Cops. He only has an 806 slugging percentage this season. He is statistically the worst batter you'd load the bases for. The good news is Tampa won't have the bases loaded. There's one, there's two. Embry Riddle scores as Campbell can make it home, but a double play gets Gonzalez 2 important outs. 2-1. The Eagles on the board. Base is empty, though, for Max Cops. That ground ball was always going to bring home the runner, but Woodburn, Saladino, and Russo combined for a double play, so it's a productive at-bat for Gonzalez, even if it does ruin any shutout hopes. And here comes the shift once again for you, Tampa. Three infielders on the right side of the infield. That is what is known as the Joey Gallo strategy. Our other prominent left-handed batters who love to pull the ball have had this defense utilized against them in the MLB for a while, until the MLB made it so you had to have two infielders on both sides of the field. I think some MLB teams started to bring their left fielder to that position where they'd usually have the extra infielder as a response. Swing and a miss, 2-1. But it's cool to see at the college level that you still can stack the infield like this. And we'll see if Cops sends the ball the other way. There is a wide open space of turf on the other side. And the fastball away from Gonzalez gets a whiff. One more strike and Gonzalez ends the inning. And that's going to go foul before it has a chance to do so. 2-2. Irigoyen tried to frame it. That missed inside. Full count now for Cops. Go ahead run on deck in the bat of Aracena. Ball 4. And Cops works a full count walk to bring up the third baseman. Interesting thing here. Aracena is going to use the same metal bat that Cops does. He was warming up with a different bat, but he's actually going to pick up Cops' bat to use for his plate appearance. Had a line drive that was caught on a nice diving play by Woodburn in his previous attempt. Strike one, Gonzalez immediately finds the zone. Safe to say that Marinello, or Aracena, is a little less dangerous at the plate, but still very strong this season. 316, 449, 537 slash line entering today. Cops, of course, with an over 1,200 OPS, is very scary for a player like Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a great breaking ball gets ahead 0-2. Chance to strand a base runner and keep the Spartans in front. Missing 1-2. Embry Riddle are 2 for 5 today with runners on base. But once they hit scoring position, they are 0 for 2. And it's a swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Gonzalez to get out of the jam. His first of the ball game ends the inning. One left aboard. 1 run scores on 2 hits. The Eagles still trail by 1 as Tampa brings up the heart of the order when we come back.
UT's under.
Saladino leads off for the Spartans as we resume at Tampa. I'm Taylor Storley. Welcome back to the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. To start the game, Saladino had a foul ball that somehow was able to be caught by Aracena deep into foul territory. He'll now send one right to Harley. One away as the throw is on target to Cops. So here we go, one away. Urso takes strike one. Urso is also 0 for 1 to start the game. That's because he got on board with a throwing error from Aracena. His throw landed in the dirt away from Cops, as that is going to be 0-2 now from Harley to Urso. Harley would love a quick inning here, get Embry Riddle's offense back to the plate. Embry Riddle did just find a run past Skylar Gonzalez. They scored on a double play in the previous inning. Deep fly ball into left field, but it kind of had Urso choked up on the swing. He couldn't drive it super far. Easy catch by Campbell. 2 away for Lenny Ashby. Coach Urso is spoiled for choice with his outfielders in the starting lineup. He's got players like Ashby, Villegas, King, Griffith, and more to utilize. He's utilizing Ashby, King, and Williams today. Ball one, missing inside. And Ashby, the player previously with the Jayhawks, coming from Aruba, has done well this season. And he'll take that one for strike one. Strike two. That one paints the outside corner. One more strike and Harley's out of the inning. Popped up. And while that's going to go back into the outfield, Campbell should have no trouble tracking it. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Harley. He retires the 2-3-4 bats in the Spartans lineup with ease. Got ourselves a bit of a pitching duel for the first 3 innings. 2-1 Tampa advantage. See if the offenses will get to work in the 4th inning when we return on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
Brand new inning begins for Skylar Gonzalez on the mound. He'll take on the Clymer brothers to start things off. The duo are 0 for 2 today. strike one. Outside corner gets the strike call. The sophomore got on board via error, but that still means his average goes down ever so slightly. 2 strikes now as that one's tipped backwards. Did not put the bat in the right position to jump on that fastball. Oh, 2. Hit foul. Tampa have been stellar at home this season, a 13-1 record. Their lone defeat at home coming against Quincy on a surprising Game 2 9-2 loss. As that one's hit deep but foul. That game saw C.J. Williams strike out 10, but a couple runs got past him early on. And the 3 arms that took the mound for Quincy managed to work their way out of multiple tough situations to hold on to the win. Tampa's been unbeaten at home since. Woodburn, good job ranging back to make the play. 1 away in the inning. There was one other home loss for the Spartans this season, but that came all the way back in October when Tampa took on the Italian national team with a lot of the players that Team Italy is hoping to bring to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Over a 2-game series, Tampa won 4-3 and lost 8-7 in 2 matchups. Fouled for strike 1. Skylar Gonzalez didn't get a chance to feature in that series, but a ton of the Spartan arms and bats did. Two strikes now to the other Clymer brother. Popped out to start the game. Almost got strike 3, just missed. Uruguayan couldn't frame it well enough. Also couldn't frame that one. 2-2. Hit to third. Carstetter's throw on time and on target. Carstetter has had incredible defense this season at the hot corner. Notably, his throws usually don't require Russo to do too much to make the catch. By the way, Tampa softball doing well on the road against Embry Riddle. They're up 13-1. As that's fouled for strike 1. Tampa also has a doubleheader there at the Radiology Associates Field in Daytona Beach. Fouled away, it's 0-2. One more strike from Gonzalez gets him out of the inning as he looks to retire Post for the first time. Post singled back in the second. Went outside. 1-2 now, but Gonzalez still in the driver's seat for the at-bat. Missing away, 2-2. Lined and caught at second by Woodburn. The side is retired, and it's a 1-2-3 inning by Gonzalez in response to the Harley 1-2-3 inning. Tampa still leads 2-1, due up 5, 6, and 7. We continue the bottom of the fourth. Woodburn, Irigoyen, Russo due up for the Spartans. Harley, 40 pitches in 3 innings. He has not had too many difficulties so far. Tampa's 2-run bottom of the second inning is the only blemish for his appearance today. Ball 1 missing inside. We get a duel of the Spartan and Eagles aces to get us started for this doubleheader. The first of 2 games today. As the count goes 2-0. Harley is a redshirt junior out of Tallahassee. As the count goes 2-0. What was interesting was in 2022 he completed his freshman year. Then in 2023 he was redshirted before having a sophomore season in 2024. Usually you'll get redshirted your freshman year before then getting started for 4 straight years of baseball, but kind of the opposite way for Harley. Harley's last start was a quality outing against St. Michael's, as that's going to be foul. Gave up 3 runs over 6 innings with 4 strikeouts. His last Sunshine State Conference opponent was Rollins. Gave up 2 runs over 5 2/3, struck out 5, but Rollins took the defeat. Payoff pitch to Woodburn went from 3-0 to 3-2. Deep fly ball by Braden Woodburn going way back and caught at the warning track. Marinello didn't have to go too far when it's pretty high in the sky. 1 away in the bottom of the fourth. That brings Irigoyen back to the plate for the Spartans. Yesterday had his best performance at Tampa with 4 hits and 5 RBIs. That included a bases clearing double at the start of the game. That gave Tampa an early start. Now we'll have to try to beat this throw from Aracena. He is out by a pretty comfortable distance, 2 away. Did not have the speed to beat the throw. Here comes Cole Russo, 2 away. Russo ready to go for you, Tampa. Had a hit earlier, hoping to do so again. Driven to center field. That is caught as it goes right to Clymer. Unlucky for Cole Russo. Another 1-2-3 inning for Harley. The last 9 batters for both teams have gone down in order. Both pitchers getting warmed up and locked in. Bottom of the fourth, still 2-1 Spartan lead. We're headed to the top of the fifth. Santana leads off for Embry Riddle as we begin the top of the fifth. The Spartans will start with ball one missing up high from Skylar Gonzalez. Fouled, 1-1 now. Two and one, missing away. Gonzalez's pitch count has climbed a little bit. He's now at 60 in the ball game. Here comes number 61 with a 2-1 offering. Tipped foul. Fool him on that one, though. 2-2. Santana barely got a piece of it. Got him looking. Gonzalez, painted the outside corner. One away. Gonzalez with his second strikeout today. That is going to bring up Campbell. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Big whiff on the slider. Swing and a miss. 0-2. One more strike from Gonzalez would get his second out of the inning. Couldn't frame it that time. That one missed outside. 1-2. Hit to second. Throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Woodburn's done a great job at second today, making nice plays, ranging and sliding, but also picking up the routine grounders like that one. Coker ready to go. 2 away. He's singled back in the third. That is foul. To the left by half a step there. Very close to potentially giving extra bases for Coker. We'll have to try again. Fly ball down the line. That is foul. That had some carry to it, and anything hit to the corners can be scary. Only 321 feet to get over the fences here down those left field lines. Good news for Gonzalez. Coker couldn't keep it in play. Could have been extra bases. Popped up. Ranging all the way back is Saladino. Ranging all the way in is Williams. Williams makes the grab. Good job calling off Saladino to end the inning. Bottom of the fifth, due up for Tampa is 8-9-1. Another 1-2-3 inning. Can any team get a base runner this time around? We'll be right back.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school.
Able to get anything going in offense for a little while. Let's see if Tampa can change their fortunes here. You're watching the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. First pitch. Hit. And through the hole, we've got our first base runner in 2 full innings. It's Carstetter setting the table for Maddox King. 1 run, Spartans lead. Wonder if they'll try to advance the runner with Williams on deck. Or if King gets the green light to swing away. The bunt gets down. That will send the runner to second. 1 away as King is out at first. Plenty of time for Harley to get the throw over. That's going to bring Williams to the plate for the Spartans. 1 for 2 today. Got on board and stole a base to get started in the first inning. 41 steals on the season for Williams. He's also still hitting over 500. Fouled 0-1. And ooh, that took an awkward shot off of post. And I'll take a quick breather as Post gets a chance just to recover for a second. Always dangerous behind home plate. That foul tip ricocheted awkwardly. Hopefully he's all right as the count goes 0-1. Applause across the Tampa baseball field as Post is good to continue. It'll be the 0-1 now for Harley with a runner in scoring position. Deep fly ball by Jordan Williams, but that is caught at the warning track. Carstetter makes it to third safely. Bad news for Williams was that ball just was hit a little too high. Otherwise, I think that would have put Tampa up 4-1. Saladino now with 2 away, trying to extend the Spartans' advantage. Fastball missing inside, 1-0. That also misses inside. Post, however, stays on top of the ball. Carstetter was ready to score as the count goes 3-0. And ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Saladino, setting the table for for JD or so. Wonder if the command slipping there from Harley. You don't want to give 4 straight balls to Saladino. He's statistically the lowest average in the Spartan lineup. And now you're bringing up the ever-dangerous power threat of JD. Hit on the ground to third. They'll have time for the out at first. On target, and the inning comes to a close. Urso can't convert with runners in scoring position. Tampa gets 2 aboard on 1 hit and a walk. Hartley gets out of the jam. We're headed to the top of the 6th. Marinello leads off for Embry Riddle. It's the 2, 3, and 4 batters facing Skylar Gonzalez this time around. Tampa finally got some base runners, but couldn't convert in the bottom of the 5th. That should be the first out as that's popped straight up. Woodburn makes the catch. 1 away. One and 0, missing away. Cops had a walk back in the 3rd and a ground out in the 1st. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Gonzalez doing good against the most dangerous batter on this Embry Riddle lineup. Down low. Very nice break on that offering. Didn't fool. Cops, though. Almost got him for strike 3. The count goes full. It was a full count that saw the free pass given last time around. Let's see what happens this time. For Cops and Gonzalez, ball 4. And Cops gets another free pass. A double play opportunity on the board for the Spartans. First Embry Riddle base runner since the 3rd inning. Aracena back to the plate. Aracena back to the plate. And that is ball one, missing down low. Good catch on the outside part of the plate. That one got a little bit away from Gonzalez. 2-0. And there comes Militello out to the mound. Gonzalez in a bit of discomfort, I think. His pitch count is somewhat high. He's about to reach 80 for the ball game. I'd imagine this is the final inning for Gonzalez before Tampa goes to the bullpen, if he can get out of it. I think Sam is able to get Skyler refocused as some tossing begins. Aracena now ready to go. Missing outside, 3-0 now from Gonzalez. And Gonzalez immediately finds the zone right after. Fastball right down the middle. Aracena struck out swinging and lined out for his first two at-bats. Strike two. Good job battling back from a full count. Fouled away, and that is out of the ballpark and onto the train tracks. Still 3-2 now for Aracena. I believe that's Coach Dave Thurnau talking things over quickly with Aracena. Wonder if he got jammed up a little bit on the previous at-bat. Feeling a bit of discomfort. Here comes the payoff pitch with the man aboard and one away. Line drive to center field. Maddox King is there, 2 away. Aracena put it in plate, but that went right to the outfielder. And now it's Clymer ready to go. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Hit on the ground, foul. 1-1. That'll be 2-1. Runner advances as that gets away from Irigoyen. Cops into scoring position now. Tying run halfway home. 1 and 2 coming up for Clymer. That's a good take in the dirt by Irigoyen. 2 and 2. Gonzalez needs one more strike to get out of the inning, which would also most likely end a pretty solid day on the mound. Another quality start potentially for Tampa's invincible ace. And that hits him, missing inside. It's clear that the command for Gonzalez kind of slipping there. And that one just ricocheted right off the batter. Clymer on board, Kops at second. And the other Clymer brother has a chance to try to turn the scoreline in favor of the Eagles. He's 0 for 2 today. Can he turn things around? Ball 1. Thought that hit the zone, but just missed outside. Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Nice breaking ball down to the dirt. Swing and a miss again. Big whiffs there for Gonzalez. One more strike and he gets out of the jam. About to throw his 94th offering of the game. Down to the dirt. Irigoyen stays on top of it. 2 and 2. And that's strike 3. Irigoyen's throw on target. That was an awkward drop third strike call. And the Embry Riddle coach is trying to say that there was contact, but that is not what Samuel Birch saw. The confusion prevented Clymer from reaching first safely. I think he might have had time as the ball got away from Irigoyen. Gonzalez out of the jam. 6 innings of 1-run ball. We'll see him likely exit the ball game. Harley returns though, and we.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been 350.
Ashby gets us started for the bottom of the 6th, and that's ball 1 way outside by Harley. Skylar Gonzalez got himself out of the jam at the end of the previous inning. With his command starting to fall away, I imagine he'll be done for the day. He is in line for the win with 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, and 1 run surrendered. 1-1 now to Ashby. One and two now for Ashby. Fly ball by Ashby. That's going deep, but will land before the warning track. 1 away. Catch made by Campbell. Here comes Braden Woodburn. Strike 1 to Woodburn. He singled in the second and had an out back in the fourth. He gets his third try here in the bottom of the sixth. 1-1, fastball drifting away. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Big whiff by Woodburn. Harley hasn't struck anyone out yet. Could Woodburn be the first? No, he's going to send it up the middle. But there is time for the throw. One hop. Got him. Great play by Santana. 2 away. Irigoyen now. He's 0 for 2. There's 2 away. Slightly colder today after an incredible performance yesterday. Ball 1, missing away. And that's going to put Irigoyen ahead in the plate and in the count. 2-0 actually. Three and 0. Irigoyen could get a free pass. Three and 1. Harley finds his own. Falling behind at a good amount of at-bats, but only has given up 1 walk. Popped up. Will that drop? It is caught on the run. And that'll end the inning. 1-2-3 from Harley. Staying quick on the mound. Top of the 7th, due up. And I believe we'll get a call to the bullpen for you, Tampa. We'll be back with more action.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. NCAA Division II athletics program.
Post leads off for Embry Riddle. Ryan Stefuk on the mound for the Spartans. He has boasted a perfect 0 ERA this season, only giving up 1 run unearned over 14 and a third innings. He struck out 15 in that span. Breaking ball missing inside for ball 1. Stefuk's held opponents to an 0.89 batting average out of the bullpen. Only Logan Wash and his no hits allowed in 5 innings is a better batting average allowed for the Spartans pitching staff. High fly ball. Emphasis on the high, not very far. Williams makes the catch. 1 away, 8 outs to go for the Spartans, and they're hoping Stefuk can get 3 or 6 of them here. That'll bring up Santana with the bases empty. Santana and Campbell do up. The duo are 1 for 4 today at the bottom of the order. Santana with a strikeout looking and a ground out back in the second. Ball 1, missing away. That's going to miss again. Ball 2. Two and 1. Big swing and a miss there. Stefuk gets an important strike. Foul. 2 and 2 now. Two on the way from Stefuk. Got him looking. Strike 3. Great changeup outside. Fooled Santana. 2 away. Campbell ready to go. Singled in the third, grounded out in the fourth. Ball 1 missing away. The 1-0 misses. Good block by Irigoyen, although it bounces almost to the Embry Riddle dugout. 2-0 now. Two and 1. Stefuk finds the zone. Two one on the way. Popped up. And unless this is dropped, it's a 1, 2, 3 inning for Ryan Stefuk. Stays perfect in the ERA column. Already has recorded the hold. Question is if he'll return for the 8th. We will be back with more action on the Sunshine State Conference.
The east side of campus, you'll find the McDonald's.
Harley looking for a high-quality start. We do have some players warming up in the Embry Riddle bullpen. Harley's had 69 pitches over 6 innings. He is about to complete his third trip through the Spartan order. Russo, Carstetter, King, due up. 2-1 U Tampa lead. Harley's had a very good day on the mound. It's been very rare when the Spartans haven't been able to get a lot of offense on the board. And that is out number 1. Russo falls to 1 for 3. Here comes Carstetter. First pitch on the way for Carstetter. Ball 1, missing down low. One and one. Harley finds the outside corner. Outside. Try to get him to chase. 2-1. Up the middle. Ranging forward. The second baseman throw. Got him by half a step. Good hustle by Carstetter, but the infield defense stayed strong. Maddox King, final player of the bottom trio. Williams in the top of the Spartan order will be on deck. Do they return by the 8th? Or will they have a chance here with the base runner after this at bat by Maddox King? Hit on the ground. Picked up at third. Throw from Aracena on time. 1-2-3 inning from Harley. His pitch counts at 75 over 7 innings of 2-run ball. He's got himself a high-quality start, and we'll wait and see if he comes back for the 8th. I imagine we'll see Stefuk back for the 8th when we come back on the Sunshine State Conference.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In
A brand new inning for Stefuk on the mound, and that is strike 1. Top of the 8th underway as both teams couldn't convert in the lucky 7th inning. Coker, Marinello, Cops due up for Embry Riddle. They've got 6 outs to find the tying run as the count goes 0-2. There will be another lefty-on-lefty matchup for Stefuk in this inning with Cops on the way. I imagine that Tampa will get Alfonso warming up in the bullpen. He has been Tampa's closer most of the year, and this would be a save opportunity. 1-2 count, that misses outside. Coker singled in the 3rd, but 2 flyouts alongside that. Is this a 3rd flyout? No. Foul. Popped fly, and it is caught by Woodburn, ranging back. 1 away. Ashby, I think, was ready to come in on it, but Woodburn felt confident enough to make the play. Here comes Marinello. First pitch missing, ball 1. Marinello 0 for 3 today, had a double play, a ground out, and a pop out. That's going to miss. 2-0. Stefuk falling behind briefly. That hits him. Stefuk couldn't find the zone. 2-1 with the left-hander due up. And this is a dangerous spot for Stefuk. Cops is the most dangerous batter, although he does have the lefty-on-lefty advantage. First pitch swing and a miss. Cops goes down 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2. One more strike would get him that big second out of the inning. Wonder if Steffi might be thinking slider here. Swing and a miss. And it is a second strikeout for Stefuk. 2 away in the top of the 8th. Aracena now, the switch hitter, moving to the right-handed position for this at-bat, has the tying run aboard. Safe. Quick pickoff throw, and they're calling balk on Stefuk. That's going to move Marinello to scoring position. A balk has been issued here to start the at-bat, and Urso getting a little clarification for it real quickly. We'll resume with a slightly easier chance for Aracena to tie the game, but still one more out needed for Stefuk. Swing and miss. 0-1. Hit up the middle. That can tie the game. Maddox King ranging forward. Throw to home plate. That is not going to be in time. Hitting it to second safely. He might advance as the ball goes to the outfield. No, he won't. An RBI single by Aracena makes it 2-2. The balk backfires for Stefuk. If the runner was at first, I don't think he scores in that position. But it was a little bit easier to make the 180 feet around the base paths. Embry Riddle have tied things up in the top of the 8th. And now it's Clymer with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Ball 1. Clymer has gone aboard twice with an error and hit by pitch, but he's 0 for 2 today. And Clymer sends that down the line in foul territory. It is going to drop. Russo slides into the bullpen wall. 0-1. So a clutch hit here for the Eagles. They have tied things up against Tampa. And now have a chance to take the lead. It is a blown save for Stefuk. Surrendering the tying run is his first earned run of the season. Ball in the dirt. 2-1 now, missing away. Blooped, and that will be caught. Bobbled, but caught by Woodburn. He saves the go-ahead run from scoring, and while Stefuk couldn't hold on to the lead, gets out of the jam. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Tampa 2, Embry Riddle 2. An exciting finish on the way here at Tampa. Try again. Wonder if it's just very delayed. No, it's not even.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. Academic opportunities are extensive and rigorous, but this mid-sized residential campus retains a welcoming feel. With a student-faculty ratio of 16-1, students benefit from direct.
Well, this is the best part of the order for the Spartans to try to reclaim the lead. Embry Riddle was able to tie the game in the top of the 8th. And Harley will continue on the mound. He's only at 75 pitches. He's still doing very well. But let's see if the Spartans can finally find his number and get back in front. I imagine Alfonso will be ready to enter the game in the 9th. Strike 1 to Jordan Williams. Williams 1 for 3 today. Singled and stole a base in the first. Hasn't gotten aboard since. Williams, a high fly ball. If Copps keeps a track on it, he'll make the catch. Second baseman ranges and gets it. One away as Williams got under that one. Now it's Nico Saladino back to the plate. Saladino was able to get on board with a 4-pitch walk last time. Has a lefty on righty matchup once more. Looking for his first hit of the day. Strike one. Breaking ball, getting into the zone against Saladino. 1-1, missing outside. Inside, 2-1. Saladino into the gap. That's got some carry, but it's going to be caught on the run by Campbell, 2 away. Very clean hit, but Campbell had enough time to get there. Almost got to the warning track. Here comes Urso. So here comes ball one to open the at-bat for Urso. Hit to short. Picked up. Close play at first, and Urso's out by a comfortable margin. Harley makes it 8 innings of 2-run ball. He's kept his pitch count relatively low. We'll wait to see if he's back for the ninth. Looks like Stefuk will be back in the ninth for the Spartans as we come back on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
Medical care.
Stefuk was able to keep the game tied after the 8th inning. The only problem is that a balk and double, or a single that turned into a double, was able to tie the game for the Embry Riddle Eagles. And now, with both teams at 2 runs on 4 hits apiece, we've got a tied ball game into the top of the ninth. First pitch outside from Stefuk. It's ball 1 to Clymer. Post and Santana also due up. Will be the second time Stefuk takes on the 7, 8, 9 hitters on next. As the count goes 2-0. I think Alfonso getting some stretching and tossing in. Could have an extra innings game here for you, Tampa. Tampa would love to walk it off in the bottom of the ninth. Embry Riddle would love to take the lead right here. 2-1. Stefuk finds the zone. His pitch count now at 28, but I think he could go a bit longer. Bad news for Skylar Gonzalez. Won't get a fourth win of the season today, as that's fouled away, 2-2. But still exits with a quality start. A great rebound after a somewhat weaker performance in his previous outing. Battled some control issues at the end. Did great to allow just 1 over 6 innings. Ball 3, Stefuk missing up high. Full count on the way. The aforementioned Post is on deck. Tipped. Foul. We go again. Fouled away. Still 3-2. Garavito getting a new ball to the umpire, getting some applause. Another payoff pitch. Sent foul again. Still 3 and still 2. Sent foul. Still 3-2. And it'll end with a 6 or 7 or even 8 pitch walk. Forgot the total number, but a very long at bat there for Ryan Stefuk. Puts the leadoff runner aboard for Embry Riddle. The go-ahead run aboard for Embry Riddle. Post, now with a chance to try to send him around the base path. I think Embry Riddle is bringing on a pinch runner here. Adam Kuzmicki in the game. Wonder if he'll try to steal on Irigoyen. Maybe try to get to scoring position. A little harder to do so against a left-handed arm. First pitch from Stefuk. Here it is. The bunt gets down right down the first base line. And Russo just makes the tag. Runner into scoring position for the Eagles. Successful bunt from Post. Now it's up to Santana and Campbell to try to advance the runner. But it won't be Santana at the plate. Jack Bale enters the game as a pinch hitter. Bale is a freshman out of Sellersburg, Indiana. Previously at the Our Lady of Providence High School. And with a righty at the plate, that's going to lead to a call to the bullpen from Coach Urso. Stefuk's done a great job over 2 1/3 innings. There is a runner in scoring position. And Tampa, I assume, are bringing on Alfonso to try to get out of the jam. Stefuk no longer has a perfect 0.0 ERA, but did keep the game tied exiting the 8th, and also got that first out to start the 9th. It'll actually be Jacob Fletcher on the mound for you, Tampa. He's had a start and a ton of bullpen appearances. We'll be back with more action on the Sunshine State Conference.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. NCAA Division II athletics program. The UT experience begins with an innovative first-year program.
It is Jacob Fletcher into the game for the Spartans with a 2.41 ERA, a 3-0 record, and 10 appearances, 9 bullpen appearances, 1 start. He's going to be the high leverage arm for Tampa. Runner in scoring position. First pitch to Bale. Hit on the ground and foul, 0-1. Bale enters the game with a 158 average, 3 hits in 19 at-bats. He also has drawn 5 walks. An interesting pinch hitting change here. Seeing Coach Thurnau roll the dice at the plate. Down low, 1-1. High leverage spot for the Spartans defense. They've got a slight shift to the left. Potentially anticipating Bale to pull the ball. That almost hits him. Irigoyen keeps on top of it. 2-1 from Fletcher. Fletcher making a bullpen appearance today, I think means that we'll probably see Satin as the Tuesday starter for the matchup coming up against St. Leo. Line drive. That gets past Saladino into left field. Williams, throw to the plate. Not in time. Carstetter intercepts to keep another run at first. And Bale, the freshman, with a pinch hit RBI. Embry Little leads 3-2. A painful RBI for the Spartans to give up. Great hustle by the pinch runner to make it home. Campbell now has a chance to advance the pinch hitter across the bases. The freshman converting for his 3rd RBI of the season. 0-1 foul. And now the big question is, does Embry Riddle keep their starter in or go to the bullpen for the bottom of the 9th? Russell Bailey went the distance yesterday with 4 innings from the bullpen. A pickoff throw, they got him, 2 away. Quick turn by Fletcher, and the bases are empty for Campbell. Could see Gunnar Harrison entering the game from the bullpen. Strikeout specialist, would be in line for his first save of the year. You also have Joe Balsam, who is the most saves of this Embry Riddle pitching staff, as the count goes 0-2. One more strike from Fletcher sends us to last. Chance Saloon, the bottom of the 9th. outside, 1-2. The new inning will see Ashby, Woodburn, and Irigoyen due up. Ball 2, fastball missing up high. Bale not good on the base path, but he already did the job he was sent to do, which was to give the Eagles the lead. Line drive up the middle. That will drop in front of King for a base hit. A 2-out single for Campbell. Top of the order in Coker trying to keep the Eagles offense going. Second hit the Eagles have gotten against Fletcher. The go-ahead hit. And now this one, as they look to maybe extend the advantage. Coker singled in the third. He's had 2 outs. Since then, he's 1 for 4. Oh and 1. It's got to be painful for Fletcher, down to the final strike of the inning, but can't get out of the jam against Campbell. A little bit less leverage than his first at-bat from the bullpen with a runner in scoring position. Another pickoff throw. Russo stays on top of it, though. 0-1. Driven into the gap. King ranging, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Last chance saloon for the Spartans. The Eagles take the lead off the pinch hit RBI, and we'll see whether it's a closer or the starter headed out here for the final 3 outs. We'll be back.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. NCAA Division II athletics program. The UT
Bottom of the 9th, last chance saloon for you, Tampa. Ashby, Woodburn, Irigoyen due up on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. And Ashby will get us started against Joe Balsam. Balsam has 8 appearances, 1 save, 11 strikeouts over 7 2/3. This is his second save opportunity of the season, or a chance to get his second save of the season, as there's strike 1 past Ashby. High fly ball by Ashby. Campbell picks it up for out number 1. 2 outs to go for Balsam. And it'll be Braden Woodburn stepping up for the Spartans. Irigoyen on deck. Both Woodburn and Irigoyen were successful yesterday. They need to be successful here if Tampa wants to avoid their first conference loss of the year. Tampa has started conference play with 7 straight wins. Ball 1 missing away. One and 2. A deep fly ball by Braden Woodburn. There it goes. See ya. With one swing of the bat, Woodburn saves the Spartans, who have tied the game in the bottom of the 9th. A moonshot from Tampa's number 2. So Balsam won't end up with his second save of the day. Tampa now has a chance to try to walk it off. 1 out, bases empty. Here comes Irigoyen. We were waiting for Tampa to get all of that one. And it's Woodburn who sends one over the fences. Strike 1. Balsam showing no fear as he fires a fastball right down the middle in response. Slider missing inside, 1-1. Irigoyen down the line, and while that gets over the netting, actually not over the netting, it's foul. If it was a little bit further in the field of play, could have cleared the fences. The 1-2's hit up the middle. Picked up at second. Enough time for the throw to first. 2 away. Good play by Coker. And now it's Cole Russo with 2 outs and a tie game. Woodburn already lowered the pressure for the Spartans as they have avoided losing here in the bottom of the 9th. Worst case scenario now is the game goes to extras. Can Russo and maybe Karstetter on deck stop that from happening? This is the duo that walked it off in Game 1 of the season, where Russo came on as a pinch hitter with a double, and Karstetter brought the winning run home. Ball 1. Ball 2. Fouled away by Russo. Strike 1. And ball 3. Karstetter already mentioned on deck. Balsam falling behind here against Russo. Russo, a high fly ball. That should fall at the warning track. It's caught in center field, and we're headed to the 10th inning at the University of Tampa. We couldn't determine a winner after 9. 2 runs in the top and bottom half of the inning get us to a 3-3 scoreline. And we'll be back with more action on the Tampa making a call to the bullpen. They're bringing on Michael Alfonso. Alfonso has emerged as Tampa's closer this year. 5 saves over a 8 appearance season. He also has a 1-1 record, 2.45 ERA on top of that. He has struck out 13 in that span. A fastball and splitter have been his go-to offering. And Alfonso is looking to shut the door in the top of the 10th for Tampa to try to win the game in the bottom half of extras. Braden Woodburn saved the day for the Spartans. His solo shot did enough to prolong the match. And now, both teams are looking to get the decisive game-winning run. I wonder if this game will finish before the second softball matchup of their doubleheader. It's currently a tie game between Eagles and Spartans in the 4th inning. Tampa won the first game 13-1. They've extended to a 24-game win streak. Tampa could make it 25 in a row. Marinello leads off for Embry Riddle. Foul. 0-1. Alfonso's been the first real full-time closer from the start of the season for the Spartans since Braden Nelson had been for a couple years at Tampa. The last 2 seasons kind of saw revolving players in that closing role. Last year, Anthony Nunez and J.P. Gates emerged as those high-leverage late-inning options. Nunez in his first season not being a two-way player. Or being a two-way player, I meant, as the count goes 1-2. Nunez, by the way, was invited to the Mets' spring breakout this year. He's the second Tampa Spartan to feature on the rosters for those fun events that include some of the best prospects of each MLB team. Swing and a miss at the dirt, 1 away. And Uruguayan makes the tag on the drop, 3rd strike. Last year, it was Hayden Embry featuring for the Rays, although unfortunately for Spartan fans, Embry nor Nunez made appearances in the games. But still, getting a chance to be part of the teams of those games is pretty cool. 1 away now for Cops. Swing and a miss at the dirt. Another vicious splitter for a strike. It's 0-1. Cops 0 for 2 today, but he has gone on with 2 walks. Hit sharply to second, but the shift proves to be vital for the Spartans. 2 away. And now it's Arcina at the plate. Arcina providing an RBI in the 8th. It brought the score level to 2-2 as the count goes 0-1. Embry Riddle took the lead in the top of the 9th, the first lead change of the game. But now we're back at a tied scoreline, and Arcina would have to set the table for Embry Riddle to try to get back in front. Line drive, that's got some distance to it. King's going to let it fall. Wasn't going to risk a crazy diving play and potentially extra bases. Will hold Arcina to a second single. Go-ahead run on board for Embry Riddle. And now the first of the Clymer brothers ready to go. Although the other Clymer brother, Drew Clymer, is out of the game after being replaced for with a pinch runner. It's Alfonso ready to go. Line drive and right. That should get down. Will they send the runner to third? Yes, they will. Ashby's throw. He made that a very close play. Arcina slides in safely. Go-ahead run at third. Potential lead extending run at first. Alfonso in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the 10th. had 2 quick outs, but back-to-back singles put the Eagles in scoring position. And now the pinch runner, Kuzmicki, has a chance to open the lead for Embry Riddle. Ball 1 down low. Kuzmicki on the season is 3 for 16 at the plate. He gets on base at a .316 clip with 3 walks and just 1 strikeout. We already saw Bale as a pinch hitter convert in his plate appearance as the count goes 1-1. But it's Post due up, as Post had re-entered the game as a catcher. Or no, Schmidt had entered the game as a replacement. Post is just due up in general. Down to the dirt, 2-1 now from Alfonso. There is a free base if Alfonso wants to put a runner aboard, but that's really risky. Only benefit is it gives you a force out at home that's a little bit less needed since there's 2 away, and a force out at second, first, or any catch gets Alfonso out of the jam. Now the 2-1 to Kuzmicki. Hit on the ground, foul, 2-2, 1 more strike, and Alfonso escapes. Urso with some instructions out to the fielders. Wonder if he was trying to tell them to shift a little bit. Or whether that was something out there for Alfonso on the mound. The 2-2 for the Spartan closer. Runner goes, and he'll get there safely. Irigoyen fakes the throw as Tampa wasn't even going to try to stop the base runner. No more force out at second, but there's still a force out at first. Payoff pitch. You also have the free base. You've got Post on deck. Doesn't look like Tampa's got anyone warming up. They trust Alfonso as a closer. Tampa's got some good high leverage lefty arms, though. You might like that in a lefty-on-lefty situation. Hit on the ground and foul as it takes a hop to the left of the bag. We'll go again with another payoff pitch. Runners were moving a little. They'll be going on any contact. They do have to be careful because they can't advance on a walk. Here it is, the 3-2. Ball 4. Kuzmicki draws a walk. The bases are loaded. It won't be Post. It'll be Cooper Schmidt at the plate. The batting order, I think, had a couple things switched, unfortunately, for us on... No, actually, this is a pinch hitter in Cooper Schmidt to the plate. Schmidt's hitting .308, .438, .385. That'll see Militello out to the mound to talk things over with Alfonso. Bases loaded for Alfonso. He's recorded 5 saves this season, and he's looking to get out of the jam. Militello's numbers out there in right center field, alongside the other retired numbers. Alongside head coach Joe Urso's number 7. Although Militello and Urso still wear their numbers as coaches to this day. Militello talking things over with Irigoyen and Alfonso getting ready. And now the umpire also joins them too. Although I don't think he's giving advice. I think he's just letting them know to hurry up a little bit maybe. Maybe reminding them as well they've got a second game to play today. There is a second game which will follow this one. Another matchup of this weekend series to continue the doubleheader. Schmidt ready to go, the lefty on the righty. Strike 1 from Alfonso, the high fastball hitting the zone. Bases are full. The Eagles are threatening. Hit on the ground, Woodburn. Woodburn makes the grab, and Schmidt is out by a few steps. Nice escape by Michael Alfonso. Bases were loaded, but he works his way out of trouble. Tied entering the bottom of the 10th. Tampa has a chance to win it when we return.
On the east side of campus, you'll find
Balsam stays on the mound. Gave up one hit in the bottom of the ninth, and it happened to be a Woodburn game-tying home run. It saved the Spartans. It's a blown save for Balsam, but he has a chance to keep Embry Riddle in the fight. Carstetter, King, and Williams do up. The trio is combined 2 for 8. Make it 3 for 9. Carstetter, leadoff single. Winning run aboard for the Spartans. And now the question is, does King advance the runner or does he get a green light to swing away? The ever-dangerous Jordan Williams is on deck. The Eagles could turn 2, though, if the infield is ready. I imagine that we'll see Aracena playing a bit shallow because they are going to expect King just to try to bunt the runner forward. He did so earlier in another situation, and it makes a lot of sense here. The bunt gets down, but foul, 0-1. This is an interesting situation. Maybe do you try to pivot into a swing, expecting the infield to crash in, and maybe bloop it over their heads? Or do you try one more time to send a runner forward? You've got Williams on deck. Strike 2 on the inside corner. King did not like that one. And he slams the bat down, a little frustrated about missing that one. 2 strikes now, runner on first. Runner goes. Lined, that's going to drop in the infield to advance the runner. So a very nice blooped sacrifice play, if you will. It pulled Coker away from the baseball, the stolen base attempt, and puts Carstetter in scoring position. He basically did a sacrifice bunt with extra steps. And they're going to intentionally walk Williams. They want the double play opportunity. Here comes Nico Saladino to the plate for the Spartans. The free pass issued. 1 away, 2 aboard. And I don't know if we're getting a call to the bullpen. There is a lefty ready to go, but it looks like this might just be a little conference here rather than a pitching change. Nope, they're going to bring on a lefty for Saladino. So we'll be back with more action on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Balsam done after 1 1/3 with a second hit given up. Tampa is going to bring on a pinch hitter to counter the lefty move to the bullpen. It's Mike Valdez in the game for the Spartans. This would be a great opportunity for Valdez to get back into the hit column. He's batting 150 this season after a pretty solid championship campaign last year. That's going to get away. Runners stay put as dancing behind home plate is Schmidt to keep on top of the baseball. Schmidt entered the game as a replacement at the plate. He stays in the game as a catcher. Valdez hit .351, .431, .553 last year, as he'll get ahead 2-0. He also drew 21 walks, did have 41 strikeouts, second most on the team, just behind Braden Woodburn. But Valdez had plenty of power, and still does, as the count goes 3-0. Command issues for Marinac, who enters the game from the bullpen for Embry Riddle. The call to the lefty might have backfired here, with Urso making a strategic change too. Urso's on deck. He's 0 for 4 though. And it's ball 4. Runners will advance, but that's because, even though the ball went away, that's because it's a 4-pitch walk for Mike Valdez. Urso represents a player who could win the game with one swing of the bat. And they're going to bring a righty on now. Marinac done after one batter. They brought him in for a high-leverage left-handed appearance. He couldn't find the zone, so here comes a brand new arm. Righty on righty for J.D. Urso. Can Urso have another heroic moment as a Spartan? Or will Embry Riddle get a second out or more? We'll find out when we return on the Sunshine State.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been $350 million in new construction since 2000. We have added 7
Embry Riddle is going to bring on the strikeout specialist, Gunnar Harrison. Harrison, for the season, has 26 strikeouts over 17 in the third innings. He is arguably the best bullpen arm for this Embry Riddle staff in terms of his raw strikeout power, and he's a great pick for the bases loaded. J.D. Urso, a hit would win the game for the Spartans. A fly ball would win the game for the Spartans. First pitch, strike one. Urso and Ashby do up. Two dangerous batters for Tampa. Either one of them needs to convert for Tampa to walk it off. Vicious slider in for strike two. The infield not playing super far in, but the corners are in slightly. I know Urso wants to swing here. I don't think he'd try to lay down a bunt to win the game. Urso up the middle, and that'll do it. Sayonara! The Spartans walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. He saw two strikes and delivers one over the head of Schmidt to win the game for Tampa. JD is the Spartans hero with a walk-off single to seal the win for the Spartans. And the celebrations will be short-lived for Tampa as we've got another game coming up next. Tampa was down to 2 outs remaining. Braden Woodburn gave Tampa a game-tying solo shot. And with the bases loaded, J.D. Urso brings Williams home. Karstetter home to give Tampa a 4-3 win. Always good to win it with a walk-off. I think Coach Urso would have rather it have ended earlier and Tampa to have not lost their 1-run lead. But it is special for his son to deliver a little more late-game magic. So, that'll be defeat, I believe. Actually, it'll be Balsam, I think, credited with the loss. He falls to 0-2 for the season. And it'll be Alfonso improving to a 2-1 record with the win. Alfonso was able to escape a high-pressure situation. The Eagles, however, couldn't. Tampa improves to a 22-4 record. Embry Riddle falls to 16-8. Both teams get a chance to go again later today. You can catch that game on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Meanwhile, I recommend you check out the softball game between the Eagles and Spartans, also on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.